Continental Tire Coach's Corner brought to you by Continental Tire. You'll see Continental Tire at sporting venues across the United States. Proud sponsor of the IMSA Racing, Major League Soccer, and, of course, college basketball. Continental's premium products available at leading independent tire dealers, car dealers, mass retailer companies across the United States. For more information, visit ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire for what you do. With the victory over Washington, USC has now won 6 in a row. He's the head coach of the Trojans, Clay Helton, joining us. How do you feel today, Coach?
Feeling good, Dan. Thank you for having me.
When did you look at the game film?
When I got home, I watched a little bit of it on the plane coming back, and then came immediately home and watched the TV copy till about 4 a.m. that morning, and adrenaline was running, and get back up and get ready for now a rivalry game with UCLA. So no rest for the weary. Got to keep going.
Have you ever not watched game film just because you just knew it probably wasn't going to lead to anything good?
No, that's usually not in a coach's DNA. Whether it's good or bad, you're going to learn from the mistakes or pick up some lessons learned on every tape. So that's just part of being a coach.
You a pregame speech guy?
Yeah, I am. I appreciate giving the message and making sure that the team understands exactly what we're trying to get accomplished. So I am a pregame speech guy.
What did you say prior to Washington?
Just do the same things, do the simple things better, just like we've been doing over the last 6 weeks. Don't change anything because of the atmosphere that we were in. We learned a lot of lessons over the first 10 weeks, starting at the Alabama game and being in that type of atmosphere, and the lessons that we learned there will help pay off for today, and it did. I thought the kids did a tremendous job of drowning out all the distractions in a very unique and hostile environment, and played their butts off.
I thought the difference has been the defense. I've watched the offense. I think I've watched probably 5 full games, the last 5, and the offense is spectacular. It really is. There's so many weapons, and I kept wondering, can you play any defense? And then you guys, I thought the defense won that game for you. They were great. Why?
Yeah, I tell you, I every day I go to bed, I thank God for 3 things: my wife, my children, and Clancy Pendergast. Our defensive coordinator is unreal.
Is it in that order though, Clay?
Sometimes, yeah. But no, Clancy's done an unbelievable job with our defense, and really our defensive front has led the way. We've played back-to-back games now against the 2 highest-ranked rushing teams in our conference in Oregon and Washington, and Clancy's always found a way to do a terrific job of taking away a team's strength. And then our defensive front over the last 6 games, the big men have led the way and have really gotten to the quarterback, got to a really good quarterback in Jake this past week, and eliminated a run game that was elite. And then you put that secondary back there that did a great job. Adoree comes up with 2 picks in that game, 1 to end the game. So just a great effort by our kids.
When did you know that Sam Darnold could actually play at this kind of level?
In high school, being a quarterback coach by trade and having the opportunity to go watch him, I'll never forget the time you get one evaluation in the fall to go out and see a kid, and you go out and watch him, and there's, USC coaches on the sideline, and you think a kid would be nervous, and he goes out there in the first half, and he goes 13 of 13 with 5 touchdown passes, and I was like, yep, that's going to be a really good one. And then he comes here, and just the poise that he's shown since the day he's stepped on campus and the leadership, you knew that at some point in time, great things were going to happen to the kid. He's just one of those guys that has it. I mean, he's a winner.
But you're not sure how it translates to college, just like a college player to the NFL, and you don't know that until you get him into game action. And that's what's impressed me is he's athletic, he's got a quick release, and it looks like he's just not afraid. I mean, he's smart but not afraid. And that's a redshirt freshman doing that, and you did that on the road at UW. I thought that was really, really impressive, and I think he's legit. I think he's a legitimate star in the making there.
Yeah, he's done a terrific job. His game maturity for this age is beyond his years. I mean, just the way he's distributing the ball to several kids, protecting the football, creating not only with his legs, but really looking downfield as he creates, and has come up with several touchdown passes off, breaking contain and finding guys downfield. So he's got a really bright future, and the thing that I appreciate about him is his humbleness and his humility. Every game he comes off the field and says, you know what, Coach, I can do better. I'm learning from my mistakes. I'll do better next time, and you appreciate that as a coach.
He's Clay Helton, USC head coach. They got UCLA coming up next game. But after that Alabama game, like if you juxtapose the feeling you have now after beating Washington as opposed to how you felt after that Alabama game, the highs and the lows, how low were you after Alabama?
Pretty low. You have great anticipation of a team that you know is talented, and you've got 3 new coordinators and you got 5 new position coaches and a new head coach for the first time, and we really needed to come together as a team, and we weren't quite ready, and we had some lessons that we learned in those first 4 games, and we just I tell you, I really appreciate our staff and our kids for just every week trying to get better. And I looked at us from going from Alabama to Stanford to Utah, and I really felt like we were improving each week, even though we were 1-3. And the staff and the kids just kept on grinding, kept on getting better with each game, focusing on our jobs. And you look up and you hope you're playing your best football in November, and that's what we're doing right now.
Coolest thing that you have in your office is what?
Coolest thing I have in the office, a picture with me and my mom and dad after last year's Colorado game, and just I'd look at it every day because my dad is my hero and my mentor, and the lessons that he's taught me has put me in a position to be able to handle adversity, and so I look at that often, each and every day.
When you're 1-3 and all of a sudden you're hearing whispers, and they're not whispers anymore, who processes that, and how does it not affect you? When you...
I've learned that after being in it for 21 years, the job's too hard to focus on any noise that's going around you, and especially when you're in a leadership position, whether you're 1-3 or whether you're undefeated, kids look to you. 18 to 21-year-olds look to you to see how you're going to react, and if you show panic, if you show that, hey, I'm not confident, you need to go into that position saying, hey guys, we're not changing what we're doing. We're going to get better with each and every game, and we're going to look up and we'll add them all up in the end, because they look to you every day for leadership and guidance. So I just tried to stay the same each and every week and be the leader that they needed. And in credit to the kids, they've done a terrific job.
Well, congrats. It's quite a turnaround there. 15th in the country, 7-3, and good luck against UCLA, Clay.
Dan, appreciate it so much.
All right. Clay Helton. Yeah, you're 1-3, and all of a sudden, they're starting to take a look at Custer here with his last stand. They're firing arrows at him, and people are looking like, oh, well, who would take over that job? Brian Kelly, if he went in there and went. They played 4 games, and now they're ready to get rid of another coach. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe at the end of the year if it all goes bad, but not after 1-3. But watching that Alabama game, that's where you looked at it and you went, there's a big difference between Alabama and USC. But I'd love to see them play now. It'd be a completely different game. Alabama's still a better team. But USC, that offense, they got a couple running backs. They got good receivers. And I'm telling you, watch him fall flat on his face against UCLA. Sam Darnold can play. He's really good. And he was the best quarterback on the field Saturday night. Coach Helton brought to you by Continental Tire, Coach's Corner.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.